could talk about games played by Ryan and Mike. A modern, a retro video game show. Yes, we talk about games and sometimes other stuff like Star Trek. It's a blast, our gaming podcast.
Hello and welcome to another Talk About Games. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Mike. Today I'm going to talk about Blackthorne for Super Nintendo. And what do you got?
So I played Trine, and I played Trine Enchanted Edition, which is technically the re-release of Trine.
You trying to piss me off?
Why?
That was my joke. I tried. Trine.
Oh, you trying. Oh my God.
Because, you know why? Because what the fuck is Trine?
So, you know how it's like try?
Yeah.
Like try, because
Like
there's
Triforce.
three, because there's a wizard, a rogue, and a knight.
Oh, that's what it is?
And there's an artifact called the Trine.
Okay.
And they all end up breaking into this place where this artifact is.
Okay.
And they all put their hands on it, and their souls get mixed together. So they have to go on this quest to try and unstick each other and save the kingdom.
I don't like the idea of that. Having your soul mixed up with another soul.
Yeah.
That's like gross.
It is. It's like, oh, I don't want
That,
them
like, fucks with me.
Yeah, I don't want them inside. Yeah. But you know, the first time I saw this game, so the reason I played this game is this is our most requested game.
Is it?
I went through all of your comments, and I determined that the most requested game is Trine.
Really?
It is.
It's not Space Invaders?
No. Imagine that. They didn't ask for computer space. They didn't ask for
Monty on the Run?
Alpine.
Alpine.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That wasn't the pick. I gotta see what obscure games I can think
That's
of.
funny.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the fuck
Right.
it is. Oh, first of all, is this on Steam? Is it on Switch?
It's on everything.
It's on everything.
It's on everything.
Okay, I know nothing about this.
I learned because
Okay.
I watched the trailer. Trine has sold over 7 million copies,
right.
which, you know, I can understand why, because I bought it for the low price of like $3. Right?
Okay. It's only $3.
It was only, I think I got all four: Trine 2, Trine 3, and Trine 4.
I've noticed a trend because also really popular is that Vampire Survivors, and
Yeah.
that's also really cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got it for like the whole collection for $12 or something.
Okay.
And like,
Oh,
it's
there's 4
4.
games?
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
What, did they all come out together, or have they been coming out for a long time?
So Trine 1 came out in 2009, and Trine 4 came out in 2019. So
Are you talking about just the first game?
I'm only talking about the first game.
Okay.
But I also, as I was going through them, I looked at Steam reviews. Trine 1,
Yeah.
Enchanted Edition as well, has overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Trine 2 has overwhelmingly positive reviews, like tens of thousands of good reviews on both those games. Trine 3, mixed. So Trine 3 was when they stopped being 2.5D and started being 3D.
What about Trine 4?
And I think people didn't like that. Trine 4 went back to being, it was very positive. So it wasn't all the way back to overwhelmingly positive,
it was better.
but it was better.
And is Trine 4 more like the old games, or is it? Or do you not know?
I looked at it. It's definitely 3D, but it does seem like it has sections that are more like the old games.
All right, so tell me about it. What is it?
Okay, so in this game, if you're playing single player, so there's single player and there's co-op. And that's important because in single player, you use the shoulder buttons to flip between the wizard, the rogue, and the knight.
Now, are you playing this like with an Xbox controller?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could switch. Oh, I'm the wizard now. Oh, I want to be the rogue. Oh, I want to be the knight. They all have their own health bars. And if they die, you won't have access to one of them until you reach a checkpoint.
Okay.
Okay? So this game may remind you of another game. And you play Blackthorne, published by Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to talk about.
I am.
I would like to talk about the Lost Vikings, also published by Blizzard.
Okay.
So in the Lost Vikings, you got 3 Vikings. You got a guy with a sword,
Yeah.
who's like the knight.
Okay.
You got the guy with the shield, who we'll say is like the wizard, but not really.
I thought you were gonna say Gauntlet
No.
because of the 4
'cause
guy.
the
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
And then you have the guy who runs fast with
Okay.
the helmet that hits things. And I guess he's most like the
Ram Man.
The Ram Man. Sure. Ram Man from He-Man, right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I always go to that.
So in that, Lost Vikings is more like a puzzle game, right?
Okay.
Where you're trying to like slowly advance through the level and find out how to go.
It's been a long time since I played it.
It's not really
Yeah.
like a combat
Yeah.
game. Trine, you could just kind of mess around and there's multiple paths through the level. I'll give you an example. The rogue has a bow to do ranged attacks and has a grappling hook. And the grappling hook can hook into any wood object.
Oh, they have multiple weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rogue can swing like Simon Belmont, like swing
that's
from
neat.
things. So you could like flip up on things and go. The wizard doesn't have any attacks. But the wizard, if you draw a square, can conjure a box. And then the wizard has telekinesis, so it can pick up things and you can crush the enemies.
Like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You crush the enemies with like a box.
Okay.
Later on, you learn how to do a platform. So if you draw a straight line, it makes a platform. The knight has a sword and a shield.
When you say drawing, how are you drawing it?
So like when you have the wizard, your second stick is like a cursor,
Okay.
but only on the wizard. On the other people, the second stick aims the bow and aims the sword.
Okay.
But as the wizard, it's like a cursor.
Because like I was just playing a game the other day on Wii. I was playing Crayola on Wii, and that you like literally use the Wiimote and you draw like lines. And I
Yeah.
felt like it was not good. It is not a good game. But I felt like the Wii should have had more games where you're like drawing shit.
I said this in a prior episode, I really like Link's crossbow training because you're actually like clicking on like
Yeah,
targets with the
right.
Wiimote. And it even came with a crossbow where you could like aim
The
and
actual crossbow,
shoot.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So in this game, the wizard is like the intellectual, like, oh, I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to jump on it. Oh, I'm going to draw a platform. Oh, I'm going to bash the enemies with the box. And then there's a level that's totally dark. And I hate levels that are totally dark.
That's one of my pet
And you
peeves.
do?
Yeah.
But you have to use the wizard because you have to carry this little light. And it's like,
I was with you until this.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the only part of the game where you're like, that was the thing that made Ori and the Blind Forest hard for me to play because it's so dark. And I'm like, oh, I could turn the gamma up and things, but it's never good for me when it's dark.
Me neither.
And that was one thing that was hard for me in this game.
Yeah.
So the knight's cool because there's fire coming at you. There's arrows coming at you and he can block them. But then later you get the ability to use your shield like a magnet and like suck boxes into it and use it to lift them.
That's neat.
Which is kind of cool. But all of this stuff I'm talking about, when you have other people playing with you, then you'd have the warrior and the rogue and the wizard on the screen at the same time.
Right.
So you do like a co-op where you and your 3 friends run through the game.
Yeah.
And the game's not very hard.
Okay.
And it seems like it's meant to be, you go from checkpoint to checkpoint with your 2 friends and you're just like, oh,
So they want you to play with another person.
I can swing up here and I can do this. And because playing by yourself, it's like you have this toolkit. You're expecting it to be a puzzle and it's really not. And like, because there's the checkpoints, because it's meant to be
Because
co-op.
if you're playing with other people, you just get through it.
Yeah, you just be like, oh, we're going through it. Like me and you could probably beat this game in like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Right? Just
And if we add on another person, like maybe even quicker.
just blasting through because you'd have so many weapons and you'd be able to
Get
do
through.
it. This game has experience, but basically they give you like 1 power up per level.
Right.
So it's not like
It seems like they're banking on like this would be a better game if you have more people. So get your friends together and play it. But this is 2022 and nobody does that anymore.
right. Nobody's doing like couch co-op. Like I've known you for 15 years and you don't like come over to my house and we don't like sit on the couch.
I mean, there's been occasions where we've done that, but
Not
very-
enough
not
to
much,
like,
yeah, right.
I mean, we probably should really.
Yeah.
There are some secrets where you find like these holiday gift boxes like hidden. Like if you, I jump all the way up here, I'm going to get that. And I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I like to play my games in the dark, all lights off,
by yourself.
and then just the glow of the monitor.
Yeah, and
the keyboard and the keyboard and the mouse. And I got my bag of Cheetos.
Right.
And I just like eat the Cheetos and I just fucking play. You see that? Was it South Park? I think it's the South Park episode with the guy who's like at the keyboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's like,
Yeah.
Personally, this is not the way I play games slouched like this. It's more like hunched.
Oh, let's talk about
hunched over.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about just for a minute. Let's talk about posture. So on a previous episode, I was playing Heroes of Might and Magic.
Yes.
And I was complaining about my carpal tunnel.
Sure.
But now my carpal tunnel only comes when I play games with a keyboard and mouse. When I'm playing with a controller, I'm fine. Fortunately, hopefully that lasts. Knock on wood. World.
Oh God.
Sorry. I mean, our theme song is based on Full House.
Yeah.
So fuck it. It is true though. So I sat down again and I was like, I actually really do like that game and I want to play more Heroes of Might and Magic. But I start playing and I get this like really bad pain in my arm, so I can't like play it and it sucks. So I'm like, okay. I do all these different things. I got all these different carpal tunnel things. I got ice packs. I got this and that. Nothing works. So I'm like, you know what? What if I fix my posture? Because I had this crappy chair that wouldn't go up high enough.
Right.
Because what they say is you have to be like I watched all these videos on it. It's like you got to be at a certain height and all this stuff and have your posture correct and all this. And so I'm like, all right, well, my chair sucks. So I go out to the store and I get a new chair that can go like up higher, and it also has like a tilt back.
Sure.
Because you want to like keep your spine like straight. So I'm like trying to do all this stuff, and I'm like that wasn't enough. Because I'm trying to copy these videos that I'm watching, like doctors and therapists and stuff that are like, you should do this and do that. I'm like, all right. So I got the chair, but I'm like, the table I cannot get the fucking table to be the right height.
Get a standing desk. Do they have adjustable?
I ordered the adjustable one, so it's electronic, and you hit the button, and the table like literally goes up and down. So now I have an electronic table that goes up and down, and the chair, all the stuff. So I'm sitting in like I like checked it with like a bunch of different videos. I'm like, I want the perfect posture. So I finally get it to like my posture's perfect.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna play Heroes of Might and Magic. I try to mount the mouse again. I start playing. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, my arm's fucking killing me. Nothing fucking works and it's driving me crazy. But somebody in my chat the other day said, and I didn't think of this, and it's a very simple answer, but I haven't done it yet, but I might try playing it because it's a point and click game with my use the mouse with my left hand, because this arm is like fucked. But I'm going to try that. But I won't be able to play games like Doom.
Have you done the trackball yet?
I haven't tried the trackball, and I have a vertical mouse.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's like an ergonomic vertical mouse. I've been playing with that for a few years and it's not helping.
Right.
So it sucks because I'm like really worried. Even if the left mouse thing works, I'm not going to be able to play Doom like that. So I might never be able to play Doom again.
So I started playing shmups.
Yeah.
Arcade ones. On not like a Mister, but on like a multicade.
Yeah.
And my fingers get tired so quickly
of the tapping,
doing the tapping.
Yeah.
And I've complained about the tapping a lot recently.
I won't make the jokes.
So I think that I need to work on improving my grip strength because I don't play video games as much as you do. Like when I was a kid, I built up those like
the muscles.
Yeah. And I think because I spend so much time, I mean, look, my job, 90% of my job is talking.
Sure.
I sit, have meetings, do things. And I do stuff with my hands, but more like gross motor function.
Right.
Like lifting boxes or something, not fine motor function like the tapping. So one of my goals for this year is to improve my like finger strength and improve my grip strength. So I'm going to be doing like the pull-ups, like the different directions and get the grippy things and play more shmups and stuff because I don't think that I'm going to be able to play arcades at a high level unless I have a lot of good strength with my fingers.
Right.
So that's something
You're trying to find ways to improve that.
I really want to improve. I don't really have pain, but I have like low stamina
Okay.
in my fingers. And I find like if I'm holding like a heavy bag,
Yeah.
like I can feel it. Like my arms don't hurt,
Yeah.
but my fingers give out.
I'm the opposite. I have extremely high stamina. The pain is like horrible.
Right.
But anyway, we're getting way off topic.
Yeah.
So Trine.
So Trine, you know, it was our most requested game. I thought it was okay. I think this is an unremarkable game.
Why do you think it was like so requested?
I have no idea. But every episode,
You know what? You said it was a cheap game.
Yeah.
So probably a lot of people bought it because it's a cheaper
Yeah.
game. So I do the same thing. Like if a game's real cheap, I'm like, I'll buy that. Why not?
yeah.
You know?
Here's the thing. I bet you if like me and you and a friend got down and sat and played through this, we would have a
I
blast.
think you have more fun.
It would be awesome.
Okay.
And then we never played again.
Right. It's like a one-time deal.
It's like a
Yeah.
one-time thing.
Yeah, that's okay, though. I'm
but,
okay with that.
Like, it's got beautiful graphics. It's colorful. It's not like brown. There's like a lot of color.
You actually bring up a good point. I think that's like totally an okay thing. I think you can sit down and play a game one time and like, I'm going to give you an example. Dead Space.
Yeah.
I played Dead Space and I fucking love that game. I got no problems with it. I thought it was a fantastic game. I probably will never play it again.
Okay.
But that one time I played it, I had a fantastic experience, and I can't see myself going through it again. But I'm glad that I did it that one time.
Yeah.
So certain games are like that. It's like a one-time playthrough game, and that's okay. That's like fine.
And that's what this is. And I think if you are going to play through it one time, I played 2/3 of it. There's like 16 levels. I played like 12 levels.
Okay.
Something like that.
Tell me a little bit more about it. So it's like the characters, you get the different weapons. Like what else?
It's side scrolling.
Yeah.
You're going left to right.
Yeah.
Your characters get like minor upgrades like damage and things, but really not that much.
Are there bosses?
There are bosses.
So what's a boss fight like?
A boss fight is like it's a lizard and he has blue crystals on his back, so you have to like get behind him and slash him.
At the crystals or
Yeah. Or he has it like on his nose, so you have to jump and slash him.
Okay.
There's not really a variety of enemies.
Okay.
It's more like, oh, there's spikes I gotta dodge and I gotta jump and I gotta get up on this platform so that I can go to the right. Like it's always
it's
like
basic kind of.
yeah, like this game, like if you got rid of all the beautiful graphics and foliage and backgrounds and shit, it would be like rectangular boxes. Like you ever play like N+?
Absolutely. And then there's also plus plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like those games. They're very simple, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you took away all the graphics, it'd be like, imagine if that game like wasn't tall. You know, like N+, like the levels are like really tall.
Right.
If it was like 2 screens tall and there were like platforms and you had to like jump.
That game's
and go
really
that
cool
way.
because it has a lot of, that's all like based on momentum.
Yeah.
And I like that, like when you like make a jump, that game has the most, there's probably a term for it, but like where you can kind of move yourself in the air a lot. Like Mario has that, but N+ has it more, I think. Like it's very like air adjustable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game.
The other thing about this game is like you could cheese the hell out of it.
Oh.
Like if you like use the wizard and you build a box and like jam it in the right place, you can like just as it's falling, like jump on it in the air and like get to the platform that you would have had to do all this shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like meant to be like it doesn't like take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Like figuring out the puzzle, like, oh, I could if I had the rogue, I could just like swing up and get through there. Versus,
Did you try all the different people?
Oh, you're constantly
Oh,
switching.
because you're switching. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's like a
easy.
Bucky O'Hare switching between the characters or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Castlevania 3. Or,
Yeah, you just switch, and it's dude. This game would suck if it had the Castlevania 3 where it's like
It takes forever.
like in this you could be like slash switch blocks jump.
And more like a Bloodstain. It's like instantaneous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to talk about my game, but
Okay.
I got something to talk about first.
Sure.
So Ryan was nice enough, and thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
He got me the DAC, and this is a little device made by Analog. So what this essentially does is if you have an analog system, like the Super NT or something like that, you can take this, and you could plug in your Super NT to this, and then you'd be able to then play it on a CRT, which is very cool. We had talked about this on a previous episode, and we were under the impression that you would be able to, let's say, plug in, let's say, a Nintendo Switch, or plug in your PC or anything, and then out it to a CRT. Well, I tried it, and unfortunately, that is not, you can't do that. You actually have to, it only works with an analog system. So I did want to just correct that, because I think we did say on a previous episode, I was saying that I thought that this device was going to be the answer to my problem with all the mini consoles. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it. I hope that someday somebody does invent a device like that, because I think a device like that needs to exist. This is almost it, but it doesn't do it.
So, and even if you go on the website, it says this only works with the analog products.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is why. Because like an HDMI signal is an HDMI signal.
Right.
Right? Like it has a standard. It comes a certain way.
Why does it only work with analog consoles and not like like a Switch or something?
Right.
Because I was excited. What I wanted to do, I'll tell you guys. Like I was gonna like put Nintendo Switch games or PC games like on a CRT, and I was gonna do a stream that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, that'd be kind of neat to do, but it doesn't work.
And one of the things that's cool is the video out that's here can do like RGB or SCART, or
that's
if you have the plug.
VGA, and then because I was gonna do like VGA, I think, to component, and then plug it in that way, and then out to the CRT, but it unfortunately doesn't work. So I did just want to correct that from the previous episode. And if anybody does know of a way that you can do that, let me know, because that'd be nice to know. But anyway, so the game I have going, but thank you for this anyway, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So I'm talking about Blackthorne for Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Now, you already know, Ryan mentioned before, it's made by Blizzard. But this game, I popped this game on months and months and months ago, and I played it for a few minutes, and I didn't really like it. And then I tried it again on a later stream, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I think this is actually a pretty interesting game. It's kind of like if you ever played Out of This World or Flashback or Prince of Persia or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not usually too into those type of games. But you know what got me on this game is that this guy's got a shotgun though.
Right.
And I'm like I'm an awful person. So there's like prisoners, and they're like chained up, and they're like, help me, Mike, help me. And I'm like, I'm like blowing them away, and then the chat's like, you're supposed to go up to the guys and talk to them, and then they give you stuff, and I'm like okay.
Can you pick the stuff up off them after you kill them?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's either they're like one or the other.
Right.
So I try this again, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play it the right way. So I go up to the guys, and you talk to one of them, and the guy goes, and then he doesn't give you anything, and I'm like, oh. So I actually talked to the guy, and then he didn't give me anything anyway.
Right.
So it's like that. But eventually, they don't all give you something. Certain prisoners do give you stuff. So
I think it's funny that if you look at the character sprites in this game, there's like the prisoners, and he has like red pants, or they have like different color pants.
They do.
But then like the bad versions of them, they're like gray.
Right.
But it's like the same.
It's the same thing.
The same thing, and it's like, oh, he's one of the bad ones because he's got gray pants.
So you're not gonna believe this, but this was a game that I watched the cutscene right in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem.
Right. Because he has a shotgun, right?
No. We've talked before about my feelings about cutscenes.
Yeah.
And how the games should earn the right to show you the cutscene, and I do believe that, but this cutscene was so fucking cool that like I was like so
that's
basically
awesome.
It's just, I don't know, you're basically, it's not hell, but it's kind of like you're in hell, and there's all these monsters and shit, but the sprites and the way they animated it is just so awesome that I was like, I have to look at this. And also like, I don't know what the fuck the characters were talking about. It's like, I'm some evil guy from wherever. I don't know. But the art on it was so impressive.
That's awesome.
I like had to sit and watch it. And then there's like this arm that comes out and it's like on fire and shit. And it just looks like really cool. And it looks almost like something that you would have seen at the time on PC.
Yeah.
Rather than Super Nintendo. Like, it's very impressive. And I was like, okay, you actually got me on this. So I'm like, okay, cool cutscene. And most games do not get me on cutscenes right from the start. And then I start playing the game and I'm like, this is kind of fun. You can like shoot the people and all this stuff. And you got a shotgun. And he does this thing with the shotgun where you can take the shotgun and you can go. Remember Star Wars: The Force Awakens with Harrison Ford? There's the
What
part.
movie?
Yeah, I know. But there's the part in the movie where Harrison Ford is like, because he's supposed to be like the badass, you know, he takes the gun and he goes like this. Because he's Han Solo, right? Oh, he's so good, he can do that, and he still gets him anyway. This guy, I think they got that from Blackthorne because the dude is like, one of his like main things is he can just be like, and like kill the guy. It's kind of cool.
Right.
So that's all well and good. So basically what you do is you walk very slowly and like you have to like jump up very slowly. The whole game is very slow, and usually I don't like that kind of thing. There'll be an enemy in front of you and like an ogre or something like that, and it goes to
Hey, Mike.
shoot you. Yes.
I learned a new secret.
Yeah.
I can dodge any bullet. If a guy came in with a gun right now, I could dodge any bullet. It would be impossible for him to hit me, ever.
Are you gonna give this secret away?
I will.
All right.
Just for you.
Okay.
Are you ready? So let's say that somebody comes in and they want to shoot you, and they're coming and they got a gun and they're over there and they want to shoot you. You do this one simple thing and you'll be fine. You ready? You just go like this.
But then he can go.
No.
No, you don't like that response.
No. Won't happen. You just go like this.
You mean because wait, what?
Because in Blackthorne, if an enemy's shooting at you,
right.
if an enemy's shooting at you,
I
you
see.
just go.
Yeah. Because the platform, right?
But
because in real life you would go like that,
Right.
It's like stupid.
But the thing is,
in the
is that-
logic in this game,
but the thing is, you could do that even if you're like in open air. It's not like there's like little alcoves you have to hide in.
so what they're what they're trying to do is be like, this is stealthy, and you're like backed up. But yeah, exactly. It would only make sense if you're behind something,
Right.
If you're like in open, it's stupid.
But that's in the game.
That's what a lot. Yeah, it
And
is.
I'm like playing the game, and I'm like,
He's just hiding against the wall.
yeah, like it's fine. But I'm noticing that a lot of people like speedrunners and people who play this game, they don't really use that. They actually use the screen.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll, like let's say that there's an ogre on the right and you're coming from the left.
Right.
And there's like the screen, this is screen 1, this is screen 2. And the guy's here. They'll pop onto the screen, shoot,
and then go to the other
go
screen.
back.
Yeah, I did a little of that.
Because they don't keep their life, like their life bars are global.
Right.
Right? So, and that's pretty crazy too. Because we think back to the other extreme. The other extreme is a game like Ninja Gaiden, where if you go a little left and go to the right, they'll just respawn.
Yeah.
It's like very like aggressive.
Got to make sure you have that spin slash.
Yeah.
Not me though.
No.
So
But those enemies, like their life is just, it's their life. You could go all the way to the other side of the level and they'd be where
they're
they
not
are.
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something really wrong with this game though. So the thing that in this game that sucks is the platforming.
Right.
So you do all this shit. Let's talk about the shit that you do. So there'll be a bad guy. He throws like a grenade at you. It's like rolling at you. You do the Ryan thing. You go against the wall. The grenade goes by, and then you're good. And then the guy, and then you shoot the dude, and you keep going. What's the next thing that happens? I don't know. There's a pit. You jump over the pit. You get to the next part. You find a key. What do you do with the key? You put the key like in the wall. It creates a bridge. You walk across the bridge. Then there's a room of enemies. You kill this enemy. You kill that enemy. You climb up to the next thing. You kill the next enemy. You clear out that room. Then you get another key. You go back. And then there's like a waterfall. And then it's like, oh, let me try to walk into the waterfall, like Zelda, right? You go into the waterfall, and then there's like a room of prisoners. And then you talk to the prisoners, and they give you other items and stuff like that. And then they give you like there's an item that's like a wasp, and the wasp item, you can use it, and you like kind of put it down, and then it's like flying in the sky, and it's like a wasp bomb thing,
right?
And it's like you're controlling it like the remote controller. I don't know how it works. And then you fly up, and then you can, with the D-pad, you can make the wasp bomb thing like go onto a machine. You blow up the machine, and then you go to the next screen, and that machine was connected by wires to a door, and then that's how you get through the door. And you keep going, and another thing happens, and another thing happens. And then there's a big pit, and you're like, okay, I'm going to back up, and I'm going to jump over the pit. But the controls are not great, and then you slip, or the screen scrolls the wrong way, whatever. You fall, and you die because there's fall damage. And then you know what happens? You go all the way back.
Right.
And all that shit I talked about for 3 minutes, now you do all that again. And the stuff that I talked about that I just explained it in a minute, that took 30 minutes.
It's not as bad as Out of This World.
Out of This World's a really weird game.
Yeah.
And I played that on a video a long time ago, and I kind of like this better though.
Yeah.
Because I just like the theming of this better. I like that you have the shotgun. Like, there's a lot of things about this game that I like, but then they ruin it because the platforming is fucking shit in this game.
Right.
Unfortunately. But there's going to be people that, I'm sure there's speedrunners or whatever, and there's people that are good at it. Maybe I'm just not good enough at
but
it.
I mean,
But
like you play a game like Prince of Persia, like the levels are short. Mm-hmm. The levels aren't that long. Now, I'm sure there's longer levels of Prince of Persia, but like Prince of Persia, I feel like you do a couple jumps, you dodge the spikes, you fight a guy with a sword, you're on to the next level.
Mm-hmm. This is like,
the levels are big.
They go on forever, and the checkpoints are few and far between.
Yeah.
And you get other like weapons and items and stuff. There's a thing that you get that's like there might be like an area, and you're like, how the fuck do I get to this area? And you can get this I don't know what it's called, like a levitator or something like that, and you put that down on the ground, and then you can step on it, and it'll like actually like raise you up to the next level. And
I see.
There's a lot of neat items and things you can get, and I didn't like beat the game or anything, but I saw that later in the game you can get upgrades to your gun and all this other stuff, and there's so much good going on here that I feel like it's just needed the platforming fixed.
It's so interesting that family of games, this genre, I don't even know what you would call it, like this.
Like the Prince of Persia type shit.
Prince of Persia type game. Like those games would benefit so much from modern game development.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Because they had to use so much processing power to make the animations super fluid, and like the characters, like these games really stress the Super Nintendo and the Genesis to their limits. Yeah,
it's weird because this is almost more like a computer game. It's like almost weird that it's on Super Nintendo, but it is, and it's interesting. And speaking of what it's on, I almost played this game on Sega 32X because Blackthorne's on Sega 32X.
No way.
It is, and I looked at that, and there's people that prefer that version, and the graphics are debatably, better and whatnot. So I was like, well, I don't do a lot of 32X streams. Like, maybe I should do this on 32X. But I looked into it, and it seems like the consensus from what I saw, because I looked at some different videos on it and stuff, it seemed like the consensus was that for the 32X, it's pretty cool, but apparently like the sound on the Super Nintendo is just like so much better, and people were just like, just play it on Super Nintendo.
But the thing is, like, to make your Genesis sound good or your 32X, it's got to have like that thwomp it, like the bass, like
But the 32X version of it does have an extra level.
Oh.
So if you do like this game and you want more of it, probably the 32X one might be the one to go to. But I didn't even beat this game. I didn't get that far because I started getting annoyed because I'd get really far and then it would send me so far back. I
Right.
just didn't want to do it again.
Play this game with save states. I know you don't
I'm
like
not
that.
gonna. If I have to
Right.
play it with save states,
Because it's
then I'm
not worth
gonna play
it. It's not worth going
No.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are the kind of person that doesn't mind doing that, then that probably is the way to play it. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with other people using it. I just don't prefer to.
Yeah, it's interesting that these two games, Lost Vikings and Blackthorne, were published by Blizzard, and then like nothing really came out of it. Like we ended up having like Diablo for PlayStation and StarCraft 64 and stuff like that. But those were really just adaptations of PC games.
Right.
They weren't specifically made for consoles, which you know, I'm surprised that not until like the modern era, games like Overwatch came out on consoles like pretty quickly.
Right.
Like Blizzard really.
Well, they're thinking more about that now because like if you can put it, the more things you can put it on, the more money you can make. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But like Blizzard really didn't mess with like making console video games, specifically console like even you're saying these console games were very PC like.
They're very, yeah. You would not expect something like this to be on Super Nintendo. That's why I brought it to the show because I thought it was interesting. I think some people, it probably depends on the type of person you are. Some people will probably really like this game, and
Yeah.
other people probably fucking hate it. So it's one or the other.
Having seen it, having played it, I feel like a lot of things are like patience based.
It is
Like it's very like excruciating, and I don't know if I have the patience to have fun doing it. Like
Yeah.
I probably could beat it, but
Do you want to? Are
do
you
you
having
want
fun?
to?
Yeah.
Whereas like Trine, the game that I brought, is like super easy.
Yeah.
You just kind of roll through it, you know. So
It seems
it's-
like I'd probably rather play Trine.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rogue's cool because you're like swinging around all over the place and doing stuff like that. I think that you'd have a problem with the dark areas, but it's not very
fuck
long.
yeah, I hate that.
But it's not very long.
Okay.
And if you had a friend,
Then you can get through that.
you'd get through it.
Is there a certain character that gets through the dark areas like better than
The wizard can levitate
the light stuff?
the light thing.
Okay.
The only other thing, like the knight would have the hardest. Like the knight would have to see the light go by and then platform like the way.
So that would suck.
That would
Is
suck. But the rogue, you could shoot the bow and see where the platforms are. But even
Okay.
then, the rogue gets fire arrows, and they put a little light out too.
Okay. Or how about just don't have this type of area in the game?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's probably the best.
Because
way.
right here we're having this conversation about like, well, if you use this, you can get by the. If you just don't have,
Yeah,
like whatever the next part is, just delete the dark part
Just
of it.
delete it.
Just have the rest of it.
yeah. And you know what the thing is like, you ever watch movies where it's like black,
Yeah.
or like it's black, but like because you're watching it on like shitty Netflix, there's like compression artifacts like
So I
in the black.
edited a lot of those Monster Madness videos
Yeah.
back in the day, and I did from Godzillathon up until like year 8 or so.
Yeah.
And then we started, doing the Let's Plays and all that, and I moved on from that. But there was many years of my life devoted to watching horror movies, and then there was a lot of horror movies that I'd watch that didn't make it to Monster Madness.
Right.
So there were. I'd order all these DVDs.
Yeah.
You remember all the DVDs I had, all the fucking
my
horror
God.
movies. Like
his house was, you would walk in and it was just rows of, like, you had like a video store. Like, that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
There are numerous video stores that had less DVDs
except
than
imagine
you did.
that it was all horror pretty much. Not all, but and there's a lot of animation. But
Yeah.
there wasn't. I didn't collect like romantic comedies. There was
Right.
none of
No.
those. It was mostly horror because it was mostly for Monster Madness and the type of videos that we were doing. The thing, you're talking about movies that are dark. The horror genre, because back then in those type of movies that we were doing, the 70s, the 80s, a lot of times those were like low budget movies from the 70s and the 80s. The lighting was not fucking very good at all. And a lot of those ones that were on. So now I'm like watching like a VHS tape and some shitty like independent horror movie. You want bad lighting? There was a one that I watched, and I think the movie was called Pigs. I put
Pigs.
the VHS tape in. Now, maybe you watch a movie during the day and like the light is like on the TV. Maybe like if I watch it like late at night and had a better setup, I don't know. But like I'm telling you, I sat and watched this movie. It was pitch black the whole fucking movie. And there was one part where I kind of saw like a shadow of something. Like I kind of like maybe somebody opened a door or something. I don't know, but I couldn't fucking see anything. I sat there for 2 hours and I watched this movie. It was pitch fucking black. I could hear, but I couldn't see a fucking thing.
Wow.
And I was like, is this gonna be? Are we gonna do this like for a video? It's just gonna be
it's like,
black.
it's good to hear. I guess I don't know.
I definitely know all about those type of movies.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty all right. Like Blackthorne, I rented it as a kid, and I was like, I didn't get very far because, like, as a kid, you were not equipped mentally to play this game.
I had to be the age I'm at to even like be like, all right, I'm gonna try it.
Cause like he takes out the gun. It's not like you're playing Contra or something. You just walk up, you're like, shoot him.
Yeah.
In this, he has to like
Contra. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, if you want to walk or like jump
Right.
or whatever, or if you want to jump, you have to put the gun away.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to jump now."
I was getting pretty frustrated because I'm like, which button is which? There's a lot of that. I was like, okay, it's this button to put the gun away, and then it's this button to jump, and this button to do that, and then it's like eventually that starts to become second nature. So you got to like get over that like learning curve.
Yeah.
And I did. I got over that learning curve because I got into
But
the
it's like
second level.
200 frames of
But
animation.
it's
It's
like, I don't really. I'm not gonna say that I totally don't recommend it. I think there's people that, I mean, like you said, there's probably people that speedrun it and whatever.
Yeah.
Some people probably like this game, but I think most people probably wouldn't want to do this game.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what I got. I don't know. That's it.
That's awesome.
So listen, once again, we have Patreon. And what you got to do, if you like this show, if you really like this show, and you want to see more of it than you're getting to see on YouTube, you go over to Patreon. And we've been doing this, as long as we've been doing this show, we've been doing videos on all different subjects. We did like videos talking about Mega Man.
I went out to the
all kinds of stuff.
I went out to the camp where Friday the 13th was filmed. We have footage of that on there. We talked about Mega Man. We talked about just like gems, like
didn't we do a
games.
Sega Genesis video?
We did a Genesis like top games video. We talk about Star Trek. Just so many different things
Talk
over
about
on
Disney,
Patreon. We shit
video
on
games.
Disney. I mean, talk about Disney. Yeah. Oh, I'm set to go to the Guardians, the pass holder preview.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, you can't wait. Is that sarcastic?
No, I really want to go.
So
Staying at the yacht club.
like the yacht club's nice, but I feel like it's so not Disney.
But you can
like
walk to the.
It's nice how but it's very not Disney, you know.
Right.
But it's a very nice hotel though.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I just wish it was
Beaches and cream.
themed.
The pool.
Right.
The sand on the bottom.
See, because my whole thing is like, you could just go to a nice hotel like anywhere. Like that's just a nice hotel that could be anywhere. It's not. It doesn't feel like Disney.
Dude, we got to do a video on this where because we disagree on this.
Yeah.
Because like if I go to the Contemporary and they're redoing the rooms to be like Incredibles. If I'm paying like
fuck that.
all this money and I walk in and there's like a fucking like incredible painting and it's all
I wouldn't
like
like that either. I meant that first of all, it's fucking Pixar.
yeah.
I know. I'm saying like Disney. I'm not even talking about the character. I'm talking about like the Polynesian. That's very Disney. That's like Mary Blair art, who's like a classic like Disney person. You know, like those hotels. You know, the Contemporary is classic, but if they that whole hotel is like all like Mary Blair art, and it's like classic like Disney shit. Well, now you're gonna get me going on that. We're gonna have a whole nother video, but yeah, I'm not talking about, dude. Fuck. I don't want the fucking Incredibles in there. I was pissed off. I went to Disneyland and I see the fucking monorail go by and they have the fucking Incredibles painted all over the monorail.
Right.
Get that off. The monorail, and I don't think it should have Mickey Mouse or anything on it. I think it should just look like the monorail.
Right.
Like, I hate that.
Well, I think at Disney World, and we should talk about this in another video, but I think at Disney World it's not so bad because right now only Monorail Gold has writing on it.
Most of the monorails in Orlando are still the classic monorails.
And the gold monorail has the 50th anniversary on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's not so bad.
I do like what they did with the sky buckets that go to MGM, like how they have the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like heights, so I don't like to ride them.
It
but
also it rocks.
It I went on it and I was like, I'm not going on this fucking thing again.
It, but I don't care.
Yeah.
There was a few times where I was riding it, like right when you start getting towards Disney Springs, it gets like really high.
Yeah.
Like when it's about to turn.
And the other thing is like, and it does the turn and shit. And, and I'm like, I'm not very good with heights. And then the thing is, I was like, whatever though, because it'll go up and it'll go down and I get off, whatever. No big deal. You're on that thing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Yeah. So this is the kind of content that you can get on Patreon. This is what you want.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that after I go to the Guardians pass holder preview, we'll probably make something for Patreon about it.
So I don't think you already know what I think.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in Disney,
you
especially
can listen
not
to
in
him
Epcot.
scream about it. The ship's cool. There's like a ship, like the Guardian ships out front.
Okay, so I would be okay with the Guardians thing if it was
in Hollywood Studios.
Not in Epcot.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie.
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a movie.
Yes. It's not real.
And a comic
there's
book.
no Star-Lord. Star-Lord's not coming. He's fake.
Right. Well, so is Figment.
Right.
But that's an original Disney creation.
Yeah.
You know, they should have just something educational, like based on space. Like that was like the point of fucking Epcot when they made it.
Right.
They're totally off of that now. Bob Chapek's like, what?
He's like,
what?
What? Dude, Bob Chapek would charge for the fucking air in Disney if he could.
That's coming, I'm sure.
Right.
He'll find a way.
You want an oxygen shot? It's like Total Recall.
I'm like, it's hot down here in Orlando. He's like, oh, well, did you get the oxygen shot? It's next to the churros, asshole. Get the oxygen shot.
Go to the oxygen lightning lane, asshole. Thanks for watching this episode of Talk About Games. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god.
Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be. They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke!